Hello beauties, Shaz here for another TBONTB. In these videos I talk about new makeup and I try to talk myself out of buying them on camera. I don't need so much makeup. I can dupe most of these because I already have a lot of makeup, and hopefully in the process I can inspire you to use the makeup that you have and say no to some of these new releases. If all of that sounds good, give a thumbs up and let's jump into the video. Friends, in this video we're going to talk about holiday releases because I promised this video to you all, and because of that I'm wearing Silent Night kind of earrings, and then we're gonna burn some gingerbread candle, trying to get into the holiday spirit. Okay, y'all, you don't know this, but I'm gonna tell you that I duped one of Oden's Eyes palettes, and that's what we're using for our eye look today. I also duped, I don't remember the name of this palette from Shall We, but some of you all had guessed this on my community tab. This wasn't very Christmassy, that's why I'm not using this one, but a beautiful palette, and I just wanted to show you to say the dupe video is coming. I have a whole lot of dupe videos coming. Beauties, as always, I put the Instagram channels that I'm using for these videos in the description box below, and I highly recommend that you visit those channels and support them. Let's talk about Nomad. They have released this one. Is it releasing today? It's releasing Monday the 11th, so in a few days from the day that I'm filming. Beautiful palette, but I can dupe this. Also, this reminds me a little too much of their Fire and Ice palette, and I have that palette, and I've gotten to a point of having enough palettes that I don't reach out for that one even enough. So passing. Beautiful though, and I was excited to see what they have just out of curiosity. Color story is a very nice color story for someone who's getting introduced to using colorful eyeshadows, because it has a good number of neutral shades in there. We are going to talk about a few things that might have released a while ago because I kind of skipped over a lot of releases. I know I talked about some of this stuff here and there, and yes, my chair is extremely squeaky. It is what it is, you all know. Can't afford right now to buy a new chair. Not on my priority list, but beauty's another thing. My no buy ended yesterday, and I have some news for you about that we'll get to. Let's talk about this one from NYX because this is extremely holiday appropriate. This released a while ago. As I mentioned, we're kind of going back in time because I skipped over all of these. This should already be available at Ulta, and I might have even seen it at Ulta for $20. Beautiful holiday appropriate palette, but again, a good 3/4 of this palette is neutral, so no, I can dupe it. Also, the color story has a lot of resemblances to the Oden's Eye palette that I duped, that we're gonna make a look with in this video, so no. They also have a lot of stocking stuffers and other things, limited edition stuff. I'm looking at a 12-piece surprise makeup tree pinata. I actually think one year I bought their advent calendar. We're talking about like 7 years ago, and I might even still have some of their lip stuff in my collection because I just don't do enough declutters. That's the real reason. Yeah, so a good number of things, but I don't need any of these. And every time I see these things, it just reminds me that I need to go back and use the stuff that I have. Beautiful. I love the packaging. Love the packaging. Spot on, but don't need. Also, I don't have $50 to $70 to spare on these kinds of things because I already allocated it to a few other things that we're going to talk about. I know. My no buy is barely over, and I already spent the money. We might have talked about this one, but quickly mentioning Hello Kitty 50th anniversary collection. This isn't really holiday, but the color story is very festive, wintry, so mentioning it again, but not for me. Moving on. Also quickly mentioning that Ghostface is out, and I still don't know why it's releasing after Halloween. I already talked about the Catrice advent calendar. Trust me, beauties, I understand people wanting to buy advent calendars, because in categories that I'm interested in, like shifty, shiny eyeshadows or colorful eyeshadows, I would totally consider picking up advent calendars, but not something that has all kinds of products, unless you're interested in trying a brand. Like, let's say you've never tried Catrice like me. I think I have nail polishes from Catrice only. I don't think I've ever used anything else from their brand. So if I kind of just wanted to try different things from Catrice, I could think about picking up an advent calendar. But I'm not, because I don't have a need for random products in my collection. Also, I always wonder how much time and energy brands put in developing these advent calendars. Do they really spend enough time thinking about what goes in something that's going to only be sold for 1 month? And now that we're talking about advent calendars, let's also talk about this one. I briefly talked about it before, but I've seen some unboxings of this and I'm like, girl, take out that wallet. Glam shops. So I talked about this in another video. They have 2 advent calendars. One of them is what they always have, which is a survey, for lack of a better word, of the different products that they have. Nothing wrong with that. If you wanted to test Glam Shop, this is probably a fantastic way to do it. I remember that in their past calendars, they had some nice things. And frankly, I almost feel like if you buy the advent calendars, or the past advent calendars, at least, you would have been kind of set for having different categories of products. So for someone who's, for example, a Glam Shop fan, just buying the advent calendar once a year might give them enough supply for the year. But this year they have the second advent calendar, which is just eyeshadow singles. And I've seen some unboxings of this. Not super colorful, but very nice. And the calendar is 50 euros. The only problem is that you also need to pay $40, I think, for shipping if you're doing it in the US. I've only shopped from Glam Shop during the times that I was in Europe, so it was obviously significantly cheaper having things shipped in the European Union. But I think if you're ordering from the US, you need to pay $40 for UPS shipping. And I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. I also don't know if I'm going to use these products enough for that kind of money. I also have already spent money on something else that we're going to talk about. Another advent calendar. Can you all guess what it is? Of course, this time of the year is the best time for you to stock up on the bundle boxes you can see at Sephora. Not just Sephora favorites, but other things. So Sephora favorite is designed for Sephora to put what they consider their favorite products. I actually don't even know how they select them. Maybe those are the mostly sold products in each category, and they put them in a bundle and you can buy that. A lot of times some of the stuff that are in those bundles are miniature size or sample size, but what I'm talking about isn't just that, but also bundles that come from brands. One thing, for example, is that a lot of times I buy my perfumes around this time of the year because I can get it in a bundle. I can get a sampler for the price of maybe just paying for the bottle. And we all know that these bundles have always been available this time of the year. So if there's any brand you were waiting on to see if they're going to come up with a bundle package with products you might be interested in. I know a lot of skincare brands do this. I know a lot of even high-end skincare brands do this. Check out the brand's website, also Sephora or other marketplaces where the brand sells. I'm not going to go through every single thing I see online because it just does not make sense, and there is no way I can guarantee you to cover everything. I talked about Be Perfect also having a giant collection releasing. I'm not looking for large palettes or a lot of products. I prefer paying a lot for a small product that I really, really want that's very special than buying a gigantic palette I'm never going to use that has just neutral shades that I'm never going to reach for. It's definitely more about quality than quantity for me. One thing that I was interested in, because by Facile, the eye makeup remover from Lancome is one of my favorite eye makeup removers. And I remember years ago I read that is one of the best in the market. So it's a product I've been using for years. And during this time of the year, they always have some bundle where you pay a fraction of the price and you get a bifacial, usually a full size with a bunch of other things. But I saw the Lancome gift with purchase this year, and I'm not sure if I want to pick it up. I like the Genifique serum also. It definitely goes with my skin. But a lot of the stuff in there, I don't know if I'll use. Like, do I need another lipstick? I don't. Do I need an eyeshadow palette that's neutral? I don't. Yeah, I might or might not. MAC, and this has been out for a while, has a whole lot of stuff, like always, for the holidays. These are cute. I like some of the packaging, and I remember years ago I bought a very nice holiday kit from MAC. And MAC, if you're listening, maybe you should bring something like this back. And the kit was designed for the eye. It had the primer, Painterly, and it also had a mascara, like one of their favorite mascaras, and it had an eyeliner, the kind that comes in a pot with a bag. And I don't remember how much it was, but it was one of the rare sort of bundles that I purchased during holidays that I really, really used. I used all the products that was in it pretty much either completely up or until they went dry. I don't see myself using any of these kinds of kits. Again, MAC, if you're listening, bring a kit like that. We have a whole lot of advent calendars. We have one from Yes Style, one from Selfridges. Lauren May Beauty did an advent calendar unboxing galore last year. I think she unboxed like 100 advent calendars, and I binge watched a whole lot of those videos. I would not be surprised if she's doing the same thing this year, so check out her channel if you're interested in any advent calendar. I understand the excitement associated with not knowing what's going to be in an advent calendar when you buy it, but honestly, judging by the fact that I've mostly been disappointed by mystery bundles, I always want to check before I buy an advent calendar. H&M is now releasing Christmas cosmetics. I don't even know where there would be an H&M near me. Although nowadays you can buy everything online. As I'm swiping, I see literally all kinds of these mini bundles for holidays. I feel like more and more brands are doing that because it gives us the impression that we're buying more products and testing more products. So definitely check those out if you are waiting on a bundle from a brand. You all probably already know that Sephora sale is on, and if you wanted to pick something up from Sephora, maybe now is your chance. I used to buy my facial moisturizer from Sephora, so this would be the time that I would stack up, but I don't do that anymore. And now I'm thinking there is really nothing that I would want to buy from Sephora other than just buying something so that I don't lose my points, because you need to make sure you are purchasing at least one item a year or you're gonna lose the points that you've accumulated. And I have a lot of points. I was Rouge at some point and I never used the points. Let's talk about this one. I think I talked about it before, but because it is holiday related, this is from Pat McGrath. Not interested. I would be interested in something more colorful from Pat McGrath. Okay, the purpley one is nice, except that in the photos, it looks like it only has one matte. And that's not how I use eyeshadow most of the time. So if I want to be able to make a whole variety of looks, I need more mattes than that, because I rarely do an all shimmer look. I've done in this channel, but I don't all the time, and I don't want to have to keep reaching for the same matte shade, because then it's going to make the looks look more or less similar. It's going to require that all the looks have that pinky mauve-ness in them. And the large palette, honestly, take out the green, the mint green, and the teal blue, and it's neutral. Okay, that was a whole lot of stuff without me even getting started on the look, so let's do that. I'm starting with Party Proof from Colourpop. Because a lot of brands have announced their Black Friday deals, So if you were waiting on a particular brand, check out their Insta, check out their website. They might have already disclosed what they're gonna do for the holidays. I'm gonna use some random brushes. Let's go. And beauties, remember that I always hold these upside down. So this is supposed to be like that. That's how this palette is supposed to look like, but I always hold it upside down because it's easier for me to hold it like this. So remember that if this doesn't look like the Oden's Eye palette to you all. I'm gonna go in this red one with a brush like this. This is MAC 217S. And I'm putting this on here. This brush is probably a little fluffier than I wanted, but it's okay, we'll clean it up. Beauties, these eye looks are not supposed to be difficult. Honestly, most of them take me less than 10 minutes to make, and that's the whole idea. I'm now using a pointed brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade, which is a very, very, very deep green. The shade that I picked is from one of Colourpop's palettes, and what I wanna do is create a line from my lower lash line all the way up, like this. So I do under my lower lash line and all the way up. I'm now picking a smaller headed brush. This is a Sydney Grace brush. And I'm gonna go into one of these reds. Let's do this one. And I'm going to use it to deepen out my outer V area. Okay, I'm actually gonna mix these two shades and then continue this. Let's now go into this with a fluffier brush. I want to use this to blend the edges so they don't look so jagged and they're kind of blended into my skin. Okay, I feel a little bit of the Egyptian vibe with the lower eyeliner and I'm loving it. And before I stop, I want to quickly also get this sort of a flat-headed brush. I'm going to go into this green, the pine green. These shades are extremely pigmented, look at that, but they also have a lot of kick-ups, so I'm going to diffuse it on my hand a little bit, and I want to use it to sort of blend this lower lash line to make it look a little more pine color. Why am I not mixing the green and red? You all know this. If you watch my color theory video, the two colors are considered complements. If you mix them, you're gonna get brownish or a variation of a brown. What a lot of people might call muddying is usually the result of mixing two complementary shades or almost complementary shades. Trixie Cosmetics has this sneak peek. Looks like something for the winter, possibly holiday season, that they're going to reveal on Monday the 11th. Seems like we have something new from Viseart, which is an extremely neutral palette, although that shade that looks kind of purpley blue is catching my eyes, but I'm sure I have a dupe for it somewhere. Also, friends, Lethal Cosmetics is sneak peeking something that's going to release, or rather be revealed, on November 21st. What I see looks very similar to Gothic from Cosmic Brushes. I mean, just this photo. Hopefully it's not an all purple palette. Otherwise, my prediction that this year is going to be about purple palettes is like spot on. And we have this from Makeup Revolution. It seems like it is sort of supposed to have an icy glam feel. Again, these things are usually released around this time of the year into winter. I understand it, but not for me. Also, Makeup Revolution, no. We have Notoriously Morbid. Sneak peeking this one. I am curious to see the color story, but not at the moment. And Shine by SD is sneak peeking Jeweled Dreams 2. I have the whole Jeweled Dreams collection, the first one, and I have swatches in this channel if you're curious. It's honestly one of the most beautiful and most shifty and most metallic looking and amazing looking. Black base multichrome, but the black base isn't as obvious as it is in some other brands. Jeweled Dreams collection is my go-to black base multichrome collections of all of the ones that I have. And I have, frankly, from all the brands that produce it. Would I run to buy the second collection? No, but Shine by SD is definitely a brand I wanna buy from during this holiday season. We'll do a video talking about brands I'm excited about and what deals they have. If you want to see that video, write for me in the comments below. Now that we're talking about holiday deals, beauties, a lot of brands are doing holiday deals earlier than Black Friday week even. So we'll talk about them, but if there is a brand that was like your must shop from this time of the year, look up their Instagram or website or something. Make sure you're not missing those early releases, because you know how it is. Those good, beautiful products that everybody wants are going to be gone maybe by the time you get to the website if you don't catch it early. Ellen Rain had shown us the cute little squirrel palette, and now they're sneak peeking Happy Go Lucky, which looks like this is going to be a cute little bunny palette. Excited to see what it is, but I'm pretty sure I'm not picking up because I think the last one was just very expensive. One other thing, beauties, if you are the Beautylish Lucky Bag kind of a person, don't forget to make sure you're on their list. If I find the link on how to get on their list, I'll put it in the description box below. It's a mystery bag from Beautylish website. I've received it 3 or 4 times in the past. I've talked about it in a lot of my past videos. I have a whole dedicated video to mystery bags. I'll tag it below if you're curious to know my thoughts. But I know some people just love getting them every year. So make sure you're on the list if you want to get it. Otherwise, the time might come and go. Let's talk about these, because I keep seeing reviews of these, and to be honest, these are so cute, and I clearly have already duped one of them. The 2024 holiday collection from Oden's Eye. These will become available Sunday the 10th, so the day after I'm filming, maybe the day this video is going up. There is the Silvery Bliss palette and the Rosy Jingle palette. Silvery Bliss is the one that I have duped. I have to always give it to Oden's Eye that they are A+++ in terms of packaging. It's a beautiful packaging, however, and whoever is doing their design is doing a phenomenal job. But I've not had the best experience with Oden's Eye. I've heard my friends who have tried it, whose opinions I trust, have hit or miss experiences with Oden's Eye, and it's not on my priority list because there are a lot of other brands that are on my priority list. Also, their palettes are not magnetic, and right now I can't do that because I love duping palette, and I'm becoming more and more excited when I can dupe palettes. That was a long-winded answer to tell you all that I'm not picking this up. And of these two, the one that I like, obviously, is the one that I duped. I feel like the other one is very light. There is maybe like 2 deep shades in that palette, and if you remove those, this is like mostly pastels. And you all know how I feel about pastels, beauties. I can dupe this one also if you're interested, but is not really a palette that grabbed a lot of my attention. It's also not really Christmassy. We talked about a lot of advent calendars, Nobla's having an advent calendar. If that's up your alley, I already made known my opinion of advent calendars, although I already picked up more than one advent calendar, and we're going to talk about it. But before we get to that, let's talk about the Peanut collection in collaboration with Profusion. And you all know how much I love Snoopy, or if you didn't know, now you know. I love Snoopy. When I was a kid, I used to think I'm Snoopy. Yeah, I know. And this is very, very, very cute. They also have an advent calendar, and Profusion is very reasonably priced when you're comparing to all of these $40, $50, 12 pans. But when you don't need something, it doesn't matter what the price is. Even if it's an $8 product, if you don't need it, if you're not going to use it, you should not spend $8 on it. So this is going to be one of those things that I'm going to look at from afar. I'm going to appreciate its beauty, and I'm going to pass on. Let's now finish this look. I'm going to use Specular for the shimmer shade, and it's going to go here. I don't think I've used a lot of iridescent multichromes recently, so I'm gonna go into this one. This one is Glisten from Clionadh, and it's going in here. Okay, I'm liking that. Very candy cane effect. I'm using light camera splashes from part. I'm gonna bring the camera closer at the end to show you the look from close up, but there definitely is a little bit of opportunity to do more blending. I feel like this is a little bolder than I'm comfortable with, but it is what it is. We're gonna continue. I wanted to do some sort of an icy effect and I couldn't find Flexitarian from Colourpop, so I'm gonna use Pillow Talk from Ofra. These Ofra highlighters are so cray. And now that we're talking about frosty effect, let's talk about Colourpop's Frosty the Snowman collection, which I find that so cute. So this collection came out a while ago. It has a lot of little things in it. It has a palette, it has Super Shock highlighters, Gloss Bomb Trio, Lip Mask and Scrub Duo, Sponge, Lippy Sticks and Lipsticks, a whole lot of stuff. Nothing in here is something I'm gonna run to Colourpop to pick up. I really like the highlighters because I love the highlighters, but I have a lot of highlighters, you know. This one is the one that I just found. I was looking for Flexitarian. And the palette, you all know what I'm gonna say to this. Very pastel, very light tones. Frankly, in the photos, it's hard to know what's the difference between those three white shades. I think one is matte, one is shimmer, and one might be glitter. And that's another thing. I am not doing glitter, although Colourpop is now doing super, super fine glitters. I don't know if they're safe for your eyes or not. If you all know, let me know, because I've noticed some of their glittery shades are very smooth. It's not those crunchy glitters from before. But I love Frosty. I love all of Christmas stories. So I love the story of Frosty, and I would totally be up for duping this palette if you all want me to. And also, is this palette having two matte blacks now? Are we doing that? Beauties, this is the final look. I'm going to put everything that I've used that I didn't talk about in the description box below. Let's now talk about the last, but definitely not the least item that I wanted to talk about. I think you all knew this is coming. Yes. The 2 advent calendars and stocking stuffer from Clionadh. We all know Clionadh did this last year, and because they released something for Halloween, I thought they're not going to be releasing these in beauties. Now that we mentioned Halloween, I'm actually wearing their Halloween nail lacquers in Salem and upside down Horseshoe. And they released 2 advent calendars and a stocking stuffer early November of last year. But I thought they weren't going to do so many back-to-back releases this year, but it seems like I was wrong. They have done an unboxing of these items on their own YouTube channel. Beauties, check those out if you're at all interested. And I think these are still available. And their stocking stuffer this year has 3 magnetic nail lacquers in it. I've purchased the stocking stuffer and the 2 advent calendars last year. I have unboxing them in this channel for the last year ones. Some of their products are still available, some are not. So if you're wondering, are these products going to come back? You're not going to know. Nobody's going to know until, I think, after it's sold, they figure out which one was people's favorites and they bring those back, which is what they did last year. So if there are products in here that you really want, I recommend you pick it up. And y'all, I already picked this up. I probably shouldn't have. So I'm gonna be bringing an excuse, okay? This is my excuse, and you're not gonna judge me. November is my birthday month. Last year I bought this collection for myself as a birthday present, and I'm doing the same thing this year, although my birthday is towards the end of the month. But that's what I did. I already picked this up and my no buy was over yesterday. And I'm gonna do swatches for you all when I get these. Let me know if you like me to do nail swatches. I don't know if anybody in this channel is gonna be interested in those, but I would like to know. And with that, beauties, we come to the end. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, my playlist for to buy or not to buy is gonna be recommended at the end if you wanna watch more. Otherwise, I hope you have an awesome day. Before you leave, don't forget to write to me in the comments below if you managed to say no to some of these holiday releases. Now, as I promised, let's take a look at this eye look from close up. Beauties, have an awesome day, and until next time, bye!